Your health is low. Do you have any potions or food?
Ahem. Hello. Hello. It is I. It is I. Last time I did this, I put myself on the other side of the screen, didn't I? So I need to move myself over. It is I. Hello, Wisteria. Hello, Titi. It is I. I'm going over here. Hang on, I gotta walk. And then I gotta do about face. Ready? Oh, ah! I went upside down. There we go. I'm on the right side now. Technically the left side. I ain't got no legs. I ain't got no legs. Legless. Thought I was a mimic, not a bat. I can be many things. I'm multi-talented. Slipped and fell. Yeah, I did. That's what I'm multi-talented at, is slipping and falling. I have a unique ability. It's called Bonk My Noggin. Yes, that's exactly it. It's called bonking my noggin. My noggin be bonked. I played this. When did I play this? Was it last Wednesday? I think it was last Wednesday, right? So it's been a week. It's been a week. And I will read this. I like this. A little reminder. But actually, I'm not going to get started. I wanted to do something because after we started the game last week, we realized that all of the different background trait options that you can pick are all parts of your character's story, because your character is a specific character. It is not, you're not creating a character. You are playing as a character called Ragnar. And if you go on New Game, all these background focuses are his story. So Ragnar is the son of a farmer. He grew up in a city. He figured how to cope with being an outcast. His you know how your father died. Your father died from a troll? Your father was killed by a troll. You had a job delivering newspapers. No, you had a job selling newspapers because your mother wasn't around. You liked reading books at the library. You got into a bad crowd, picking up on slang and radical terminology. But you were weird. Inevitably, you ended up with the wrong crowd. You quickly picked up on the slang and radical terminology, doing anything to get real friends. You were a novelty to them. The boy who would do or say anything for their attention, for their approval. After 2 or so years, you got quite good at it. Your friends soon introduced you to the rebellious belly of Norvik. As a teenager, you spent years spreading chaos, and worse, dwarf propaganda. After your arrest, there wasn't much arguing about it. 3 grueling years in training, drilled on the city code and virtues. But you survived. You really ever only prayed for that one thing during those lonely years, but the gods did not answer. So you learned to manage, as always. Your knack for scribing got you a promotion to the clerical duties. Picked out of the ranks, you quickly showed deep devotion to your divine city. Joining the towers is an honor bestowed upon few. It is also a terrible challenge, even for you. Who'd have thought lectures were so draining? For the first time in your life, you were a natural. You've always known a few cantrips, but real magic was something else. It was power. As a rising talent, you often found yourself amidst the politicking of superiors, despite your best efforts. It never ended well for you. There's something wrong. Praying to a dead god whose whispers linger in the air, slowly fading. You are isolated among your peers. You spent most nights seeking esoterical insight. A lonely life. Your findings were unwanted by those in charge, yet you did not stop. Never. Disillusionment. A city with ideals not upheld. One day you chose a side, the emerging democracy. You wrote day and night, for change and glory. No one likes you. When you were demoted for dereliction, no one spoke up against it. But it's fine. You'll be fine. After all, you're used to it. Growing up alone, getting into trouble, training with the Earth Guard, devoting your life and becoming a cleric, was it always supposed to end in the river? So, that's interesting. You were involved... Okay, so, it's interesting because, like, before you became an Earth Guard, you actually distributed communist propaganda. And that's what you got arrested for. You got arrested for distributing communist dwarf propaganda. That's funny. You got arrested for it and then forced into training as an Earth Guard. Okay, and then you wanted a friend, but you couldn't find any. You were really good at writing, and it put you into clerical duties, and you found your niche as a cleric to the god Earth, who apparently is like a god king, or was a god king. But you were also good at fucking magic. Yeah, your good scribing knowledge got you into a tower apprenticeship, and then that made you find out how good you were at magic. You got involved in politics with your superiors. No, yeah, you were finding yourself in the midst of politics with your superiors, but it didn't end well for you. Then the god dies. And then you find... You start looking into, like, esoteric magic stuff. And then you start writing about fucking democracy, and you are involved in the revolutionary to create the ideas of democracy, which is crazy. And that gets you demoted because you didn't pay attention to your job. And then you die. Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting. I like all of that a lot. I like this character. He's interesting. Alright, I'm just gonna hit continue. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see if I can remember how to play. I remember that we failed to rizz up the orc. Okay. Tab to highlight things I can interact with. What is that? Trifle? Behold? What do you mean trifle? How do I... What? Whoa. How do I get up there? Men at work beneath Asgol's green banner. There's an esoteric effect in place here, stopping rainwater. What? No rain allowed? Okay, so you can go up here. Hi, Angel. Oh. Where might I look? This takes gut. Yeah, it does. This walkway does not follow the Safety Council standards of 22. I don't think this is a walkway, buddy. I think this is a wall. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't slip. What is this? Money? Thank goodness I'm not poor as fuck. Can I do a cool thing? Can I do a cool jump down? No, I have to go all the way back. Okay, let's run around. this is... Okay, this is bigger than I thought it might be. Alright, hang on. We got something over here. Sneaky apple! A sneaky apple! Sneaky apple. The most useful tool through human history. The bucket. You can wear it on your head to get +2 strength, but -2 wisdom. I don't think I need a bucket. What? What is that? Oh! What keeps appearing off screen? What? Gnomes now. Curious. See a bird's nest nestled on the edge of the protruding stone tile. Got some eggs in it, and you spot something shiny below as well. It appears unguarded. Just don't climb out there, man. You'll die, like for sure. I'd really like to climb out there and give it a shot. No. Just no. No. Come on, just a little thrill? No, you will die. I fell into the river once, why not twice? Your gut twists at the thought of tumbling down those red rocks. Stop this, you have nothing to gain. Yeah, not worth. Not at all. Yeah. Let's not. Okay. Can't do that. What if I just try for... I can't reach that from here. Okay, that's fair. Okay, what do we got here? Goblin wall art. Let me engage with this art. A green face is splattered across the facade, staring wildly towards a flaming sky and the dragon spread across it. Or something like that. Can you call this art? What does it mean? They believe in their dragon queen. Such worship should be encouraged, if only it was for Earth instead. It represents a devotion, albeit in an asinine way. The fire is the soul, a boundary between the real and the heartful. Okay. What does this tell me about the state of Norvik? Nothing, really. That goblins are artists? All folk seek a belief. They have simply made one out of this supposed dragon lady. A coherent thought from the red one. Impressive. They should worship Earth instead! Oh, there we go, back to insanity. I will touch it. You take a step forward. The painted stone surface is smooth. Truly ancient. You feel an esoteric urge to communicate with this object. Tell me your secrets. Yeah, baby. You sense a crack in the wall. It wasn't there before. Then you hear the voice. A faint voice. A hoarse voice. Secrets end when spoken. Talking to walls now. Awesome. What's it like being a wall? Nothing. Nothing good or nothing bad. Nothing in isolation. Just nothing. It's not like anything being a wall. It's nothing. It's like nothing. What do you know about Norvik? Nothing. Do you know what Norvik is? No. Who built you all? A god. Call it with the heresy. I'm a devoted servant of Earth, and I don't listen to any other gods. Which god? Which god? Iomestra. Never heard of that god. Sounds like a weak god to have been forgotten like that. How old are you? 15 time Alines. Time Alines? How many years is that? 2,000. Cool. What's your name? Chansey. Chansey. That's a pretty name. Okay. Alright. So I'm just talking to walls. What's your political affiliation? Fear. Perfect response. Are you sure you understand the question? Yes. Alright then. My political affiliation is fear. I believe in being afraid. Those are all the questions I have, Wall. Pat, pat. Okay. The crack disappears as quickly and silently as it came to. Then silence. The walls of this place hold more spirit than the people. Bow to the wall. Thank you for your time. Okay, so I can talk to walls. Then there's this fucking demon thing over here. Braxo Pencilwing. Couldn't figure him out though. My strength roll was shit. DC 24, holy shit. Let's go chit chat. You raise your head towards the sky. Above you sits a tiny red creature. His wings flutter faintly in the wind. He's just a little guy. With wings. Reading his little newspaper. An evil creature. Beware. Staring at a piece of paper, he does not acknowledge your presence. What you reading? A sigh escapes the fiend's maw. He slowly puts down the paper. The paper is actually a torn out page from a magazine. I like the funny pictures. I believe the fiend is being sarcastic. I like the articles more. Nah, you know what? I like the pictures too. Yeah, I imagine you would. He's mocking you. Wait, he says, leaning in to get a good look at you. Earthguard? A cleric? Hell's you doing here? That reaction. Your presence is uncommon. I'm not allowed on Tolstad? Divine mission. The usual. None of your business. I'm not allowed? Of course you're allowed. Just not often you guys are here. I, for one, am very happy for your presence. This place has gone downhill since the city let the goblins and freestriders run amok. We need some damn order in this place. Wise words. So if you need any legal advice, just let me know. Gives you a tiny, sharp smirk. Is he a lawyer? Is this a fucking imp lawyer? You should be aware of the fact that this is literally a devil. A good little devil. A barrister. Not even a lawyer. A barrister. A tiny barrister. Can you give me free legal advice? Should I invest in stocks? What about alignment? What does the law have to say on resurrections? What about charm person? I have some questions about a PPG. You hear about the tea shop? Citizen? Are you a tiny barrister? No, I have no legal position within the city. I'm just fairly knowledgeable in the magistrate's code. Okay, he's not a lawyer. So he works with city law. Ask him for details. Shows you a foul grin. What type of work do you do? If you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life, he says and smirks. So what do you do? Me? I do scribing most days. Got some connections within the palace, and believe me, phew, has gotten me through some tough times. The palace, an unofficial nickname for the current rulers of Norvik, named after the palace district in which most central authority resides. See, whenever some rich arsehole needs a legal draft in a hurry, who do they send for? The guy with the wings, that's who. Awfully drab. Honourable. Honourable. This tiny imp writes laws for the rich and noble. This is an honourable thing to do. Always on call, huh? For sure, but I get around quick. What do you do in your spare time? Calligraphy. A true man knows the value of lettering. Oh, and I do love me some reading. Gaining access to the Darrowian library changed my life. Darrowian Library, the largest public library in Norvik. You spent many years in your youth inside those stony walls. What's it like being a little red guy? What's it like being a little red guy? You want an honest answer, or the one I tell my clients? Honest. Okay, let me put it like this. It fucking sucks donkey shit. I like this guy, he's fun. He's a fun little guy. Do you know what it takes to get a promotion these days? No. We're talking decades of servitude to some sadistic fuck that wants to return to Gorgorian greatness or some shit like that. And then, after risking your life and humiliating yourself, there's a chance this fucking guy will put you in the effort of promoting you. And if you're unlucky, you'll turn into a freaking bug. Or worse, something without wings. Okay. Tell me about these promotions. Sorry, forgot not everyone knows how Devilkin work. Let's put it like this. Devils have a ranking system. Some are lower and some are higher. Only way to get higher and metamorphose into a more powerful creature is to be promoted by someone with a higher rank. But hey, could be worse, he says and cackles. Could be a demon. He's just a little red dude, but apparently it fucking sucks donkey shit. What are you voting in the upcoming election? What am I voting for? Same as you, the little devil says with a laugh. The good guys. And that means... the city. Duh. The elites are quite literally feeding my trove at this point. You think I'd vote for someone to topple them? Voting in his self-interest, as anyone reasonable would do. So you're being selfish in your voting. You're being selfish. Yeah, who wouldn't be? You think those dwarves would be voting for some hippie Asgalist if they were the ones with the palaces? I don't think so. Not for a second. Anyway, you wanted something else? I'm done. I've asked everything I wanted to. He throws up his little arms in the air. It's over! By the gods! Can you give me free legal advice? Oh yes, I'll gladly assist a member of the Earth Guard any day. Just ask. Should I invest in stocks? Oh. Oh. I do not give, nor have I ever given, investment advice. But... Yes? He looks you up and down. I should ask, have you ever bought shares before, cleric? Uh-oh. I don't know what that is. Okay, some basics then. Popularized by late Divine Era human adventurer companies, a share is essentially a percentage of ownership of a certain venture. Divine Era, the third out of 5 eras, when the first gods were born out of mortal folk. Interesting. And power began to entirely fall into their wonderful and fragile hands. Huh. So mortals became the first gods. Huh. Could be a guild, could be a company, or a specific adventure, something that is supposed to grow over time, so you can increase the value of your securities in that venture. It's a risky way to increase your capital without actually doing any real work. Why is it risky? Sounds like free money. Good question. Imagine you invest in an adventuring party. They head into the Verdun Hills to dive into some Gate-era tomb or an esoteric area filled with talking cats. Gate-era? The first out of 5 eras. When Yor crafted his realm and the gods fought to bring order. That was the Gate War. Something weird and dangerous, but with potential for a lot of cool treasure to be found and brought back. There's a major chance that those adventurers die out on their journey. If they do, you lose all the money you invested. They could make it back, in which case you'd get a percentage of the treasure based on your share, but how often do adventurers come back with a bunch of treasure these days? So, should I buy stocks? Look, there are rules in place. Norvik has laws governing what one can and cannot suggest when it comes to financial agency. Your god made those laws to protect people of lower than average intelligence from being tricked by those with ill intent. Earth sounds like he was pretty based, though. I got to lie. I can't. I got to tell the truth. He seems like he's a little based. Like, yes, autocratic fucking, like, God King, little bad. But if the God King is based, if the God King is fucking based as fuck, stonks. You're right. Where can I buy stonks? You can buy shares directly from a venture trader. Basically, someone can give you a piece of paper that says, I owe you, with some legal information on it. Or you can go to a trade hub. I don't think the Tolstad exchange is open until after the election, though. Have you ever bought stocks? Sure. I spend about 40% of my income in risky ventures. Sometimes I even get paid in securities, which is nice since I won't have to pay any middlemen. Could people buy stocks in me? The little red devil stares at you. If you were to set yourself up as a venture, then maybe. I mean, if you could convince someone to invest in you, you know, without breaking any laws regarding investment advice, I'd be impressed. So why not? What about currency trading? That's something I've heard about too. Oh, that's just the art of switching between various currencies. Say you've got a pouch full of old embers, that is, the old draconic coins. They're made of gold, so even though there are no governments these days who support it, you can always just sell them for the gold value. Great. That's the most basic form of it. But when it comes to city-backed currency, it gets a bit more complicated. If you've got 10 Brimarks, let's say you want to convert them into Reedsian 10s, how many do you get? What the 10s, the currency of the Free Strider Revolution. While free cities have multiple currencies, the magical paper money of reeds is quickly growing into the most valuable across the coast. Huh. I don't know. Me neither! The value of each currency fluctuates day to day, as does the exchange rate to each other currency. Not to mention the location as well. Tens are powerful because of the far reach of the Free Strider trading charters. Brimarks are near useless in Norvik, so the exchange rate, while still not nothing, is quite low. That makes Blood City corporations way less interested in investing here, which then perpetuates the weak value of their currency. Sigs of old Diminor are used in some places, sure, but bring them out in Norvik and any shopkeeper will laugh at you holding out those shiny little crystal discs. Old Diminor? A term for Diminor, often used to refer to the band before it was renamed Reeds during the end of the Coast War capitulation agreements. Some say it with sarcasm, some say it with pride, others say it with fear. Coast War. I'm learning lore today. A near century-spanning conflict between every great nation of the Arcane era. Scholars estimate it claimed more than half of the entire human population. It is said to have begun in 398 AE by the inciting spark of the assassination of Priestess Ilona, and it generally agreed to have concluded with the fall of Thazan in 481, 57 years ago. Huh. So, we're like 60 years after a war that killed more than half of the entire human population. So we're like a generation away from basically an apocalypse. The Arcane Era, the fourth out of 5 eras, when the Arcanists rose and dominated the entire coast, only to fall when the Coast War crumbled their empires to dust. Okay. I'm gonna hazard a guess. Just a hazard a guess here. That the Arcanists are a metaphor for Nazis. Okay? Okay? And the Coast War is a metaphor for World War II. You with me? You with me here? Or at least a metaphor for the Great Wars in general, because that shit also lasted like 90 years. Crazy. While the penning is accepted automatically, almost as if it's a slightly less valuable crown. Penning, the currency of the Vizcar kingdoms, as well as several dwarven fiefdoms on the Undercoast. It is a commonly accepted coinage in Norvik. The Undercoast? Undercoast, a nickname for the undersea coast. Okay, what's the undersea coast? The undersea coast. The gravity-reversed cavern, sea, and archipelago. Right underneath the coast? Dig down far enough and you'll end up passing through the gravity flip and then you can make the climb to the undercoast. What? What? The gravity flip? So just like an upside down land? Then the soul is on the other hand extremely valuable just because of the Golden Horde's influence. Yeah, And the Ilim Yanpala, those weird little ice cubes, well, I'm guessing you've never seen one and never will. Take one to an exchange station and they will quite literally think you're messing with them. But yeah, that's some info for you. He has been long-winded. I'm learning so much! He nods and grins. Do you think there's demogorgons there? Maybe. In the Upside Down? Sure. But probably D&D demogorgon, which means it's probably a two-headed fucking baboon or some shit. Economy, you know? Messy and fun. That's all I have to ask about stocks. Hope you learned something, cleric. This guy's alright. What about alignment? Ah, yes. The overrules of morality. Norvik does not moralize over alignment. Officially. Nor do most of the city-states across the coast. Why don't we lock up all the evil folk? And you being a devil are, you know. But why? Yes? You're evil. Oh, yes, indeed, it is pretty easy to spot. He flaps his wings. It can be pretty discriminatory at times. People assume I have their worst interest in mind just because I'm ontologically evil. You don't have their worst interest in mind? That's kind of racist. Yeah, it is kind of racist. But apparently, he is innately evil according to the alignment. But that doesn't make him bad? Look, evil is not some objective thing. It's entirely internal and aligned with your subjective opinion. I see. There are good people who ruin the world, and evil folk who do their best to maintain it. That's the deal. You're made the rules up. Okay. What does the law have to say on resurrections? That's one hell of a question. Tell me about resurrection law, Braxo. He smirks for a while. Higher tier resurrections aren't illegal. They're just not available anymore. Not available? Figured a cleric would know better than me, but... He says and shrugs. Just because you're bad doesn't make you bad. Nah, it doesn't. It's that fucking quote from Skyrim. What is better? Someone that is innately good, or someone that overcomes evil through great effort? Parthenax said that, voiced by Mario. Spells over 4th or 5th are rarely seen these days. If you want to know why, go pray. Your god grants you magic. In his wisdom, he only grants higher power when needed. In your lifetime, it has not been needed a lot. After Earth died, it's been a bit hard for even the top-ranking clerics to manage higher tier magic. At least, if you believe the rumours at the towers, which you should. Okay, so high-level spells are becoming less and less common. What about low-level resurrections? There's Revivify. That's it.
Your health is low.
I'm sipping. I'm sipping.
Or food?
Revivify, a third-level necromancy spell. If used within 60 seconds of death, and the body isn't too ruined, the target is brought back to life. High-ranking officials love having clerics around for this one. Bunch of pussies. Does a murder still count if a victim is resurrected? He thinks about the question for a bit. There's been cases. Heard of a man stabbed in a bar fight, bled out just in time for a drunk cleric to arrive, cast Revivify, and the bloke lived. The stabber ended up being charged with a major transgression of personal well-being. And that's not murder per se, but I'd argue it had more to do with a fellow's barrister making it clear to the judiciaries there was no killing intent. So, not an accident, but not a murder. Just a brawl gone too far. But that'd be hard to sell if the victim wasn't breathing. A complex scenario. Something clerics often have to contend with. But in most cases, I'd say yes. So don't go around murdering folk and revivifying them, cleric. Would be kind of funny, but, you know, don't. Are you legally considered alive after a resurrection? Yes. For all intents and purposes, you are alive. Undeath, on the other hand, would be a very different affliction. How is that defined? As long as the necromancy is considered of divine origin, and the soul is returned to a healthy body, then it is considered as a normal resurrection. If the origin is more black magic shit, as they say, or some kind of corpse animation, then it would be considered as bodily sacrilege. And that's a top-tier criminal offense. How top is it? Oh, it's up there. Does death absolve your crimes? Now you're asking the real questions. But no, it does not. There's been actual laws signed in old kingdoms over this shit. He leans in, looking excited. So, classic story. Alright. A real bad guy is caught murdering his neighbor. Real sick shit. He's executed after a quick trial. Justice wins again. Everyone's happy. But surprise, some holy man raises him up a couple months later. Death and rebirth. Holy man or foul necromancer. Half of it makes no sense. Yeah. It's fun that they're putting this much thought into, like, the legalities of things. It's like, what would a modern bureaucracy, right? How would a modern bureaucracy deal with the ramifications of a world with magic, right? Of a world with resurrection? What would the legalities be? What would the ministries be? What would the, like, what kind of jobs would there be? What kind of money would there be? What kind of all that? It's neat. It's neat. It is super cool, yeah. In this situation, the bad guy did technically pay for his crimes. His life was taken by the state. Just because somebody gave it back to him doesn't change that fact, right? Well, people weren't too happy with that, as you can imagine. Thus, the common legal term for these days for capital punishment is DIP. Death in perpetuity. Stands for death in perpetuity. Kind of funny when you think about it. Makes total sense. Yeah, I mean, if you sentence someone to death, you don't sentence them to death for a little bit. You know, just a little bit of death, a temporary death. You want them to stay dead. It does. The city of Norvik might be a bit of a bureaucratic mess at times, but believe me, the lawkeepers know their shit. Maybe? Oh, who do you think should come back? That's the thing, though, right? That's the thing. Make them think on it? Do you think they do thinking when they're dead? Is that something that they can do? It is fun though, because what you could do then, like, is sentence someone to death, right? But then keep their body so that, like, if you find out that it turns out they were innocent, you can resurrect them and be like, oh, we did, oh, oopsie doopsie. Oopsie, oopsie, whoopsie, made a little mistake. And then they can go back to being alive. Sentenced to death for 30 years. So to keep criminals DIP'd, most states tend to hide, lock up, or simply burn corpses and spread the ashes using non-resurrectable methods. So a properly DIP'd dead guy we'll call him dipped. A properly dipped dead guy shouldn't be able to return without the use of some miraculous 9th level spell, which obviously these days isn't too likely. That's all I wanted to ask about resurrections. Okay, what about Charm Person? Charm Person! Such a fascinating spell. Of course, all spellcasters are required to be registered in Norvik. It's the same in all not completely chaotic city-states. There are certain spells that just are not allowed at all, like Fireball is a popular example. Fireball, a 3rd level evocation spell, causes fire to emerge at a given point, spreading within a 20-foot radius, filling up available space. But Charm Person is, despite its devilish mind control, legal, if it is cast by a registered cleric or city-hired interrogating mage. Private entities are not allowed to learn or cast it, although I can promise you many still do. Can I cast it on you? Sure, but it'd be a waste, since I'm already your friend, cleric. He shoots you a devilish grin. What a little shit. I have some questions about a PPG. A permission of public gathering. Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. He throws a look over his shoulder. He's aware of the dwarves' plight. He finds the dwarves as annoying as you do. I don't find the dwarves annoying. What's a PPG? The imp takes a deep breath. A permission of public gathering is a legal document showing the intent of the magistrate of a certain district to allow an individual of a party to represented by that individual to gather in a public place such as a town square, street, or city tunnel to perform, protest, exclaim, fraternize, or any other non-commercial activity. Can I have a PPG? Not from me. Ask Darrow. Darrow, one of the original Earth folk houses to found Norvik with Earth. Their bloodline can still be found in high positions all around the city. You love his tiny bag? I love his tiny bag. He's got a little bag. He's got his little paper, little glasses. He's such a little scamp. And a little law-writing scamp. Or maybe don't, unless you've got some really important message to deliver to the people. Darrow who? Magistrate of Tolstad. He's in charge here, basically. Arguably. He says the quiet part out loud for comedic effect. How long does it take to get a PPG? A week, depending on your contacts and your pouch. That's all about the PPG. I'm getting hungry. Should get a snack soon. He stares off into the distance. Oh, you were saying? Did you hear about the tea shop? Yeah, of course. Pretty hard to miss when you're flying past Olstad. What's your take? Blew up. Not sure what else you want to hear. Why do you think it blew up? Honestly, haven't seen a blast zone like that since the Coast War. You didn't hear this from me, but The little fellow is helping you out of self-interest, surely. Be careful. Scorch marks look like those from a fireball, but not the kind you get from a trigger-happy pit fiend. We're talking high-level wizard stuff. Be careful, cleric. Powerful forces are at work here. Thinking about it for a few more seconds makes it clear to me that it's all a big cover-up. Wouldn't be the first time a city-trained spellcaster goes a little off the hinge. There is corruption in every system, even in the great city of Norvik. Other than that, not to be self-incriminating or anything, but could be a fiend or an elemental, I mean. Waterlane has shipments from Kargamesh every other month. Maybe a fire elemental slip through. Who knows? Evil elementals on the loose. I think it's a rogue spellcaster. It's the simplest answer. But I'd suggest having a chat with the owner of the tea shop. Who knows what feathers were ruffled, eh? Gives you an ominous chuckle. Citizen? That was a big conversation. That guy had a lot of shit. Nature seeps through the cracks. Oh yeah, I got a level up. Ta-da! Ability score +1. Okay, so I can put 1 point into something. I guess I'll just keep putting it into wisdom for now. I like wisdom. Goblin Garden is ahead. You feel it. Oh, I've seen this guy in screenshots. I think he's an important guy. Let's have a quick look around first before we talk to him. A tree rising far above, a show of nature's true force. You look up at the branches of a bracken tree. It stands tall in the garden, towering over you. It is majestic. Nature is reaching tall and deep. These roots go below the city, nay, even below the river. What's a bracken tree again? Like a birch, but thicker, made by primal forces of Ascani. One of the 3 pillars of magic is represented in the natural, wild, and savage, and elemental forces of yore. They cannot be controlled, only bargained with. The bracken tree originates from Ilim Forest and is today a major export resource in Ascani. It is quick to grow and flexible in its usage. The great woods covering most of the border between Ascan and Reeds. It is the domain of the Ilim elves. Okay. Touch the tree. Your hand lands firmly on the bark. Good tree. Strong tree. Connecting with the natural world. Well done. Look up at the branches above. The wind causes the leaves to dance. Wait. Between the branches, high above. Is that a hole in the bark? A hollow, just wide enough for you to stick your hand inside. Something glimmers up there. Treasure in a bird's nest. You have a feeling this could end really badly. Then again, risk and reward, right? It could cause great physical harm if you fell from that height, and heights are scary. Branches shudder in a sudden gust. I'm climbing that tree. Oh. Grab onto the trunk. Pressing your entire body against the rough bark, you slowly make your way upwards. No. Get down. Oh boy. I'm going. No! Wrapping your body around the trunk, you lift yourself up. The bark is rough enough for you to get a pretty firm grip, despite the vertical nature of this feat you're attempting. one foot and hand movement after another, each holding on for dear life. You take a deep breath and reach up towards the upper branches. That's when you realize you're nowhere close to where you thought you were. Hold on now. Grabbing onto air is not a good idea as you fumble about. Suddenly, the world drops around you. Your feet slip from the bark, your soul falling into hell. An instant later, you hit the ground. Something cracks, sending shooting pain up your leg and arm. The tree towers over you, taunting you. I've had worse. I'm fine. I'm fine. Can I have a short rest? Okay. I can also try this again. God damn it. Alright, Goblin Man. What is that? Hang on. A shard. Oh. Snell. Oh, man. He's a forest goblin. That's all I get. This goblin gets shit done, no matter the odds. You got it, Snell. You find a goblin, standing at the tip of Tolstad. His clothes are fit for a Reedsian trader, and his haircut is fit for an Ascani nobleman. A superficial fellow. Behind him, a vast view of the mouth of River Torna. A little weasel. Let me guess, you're the cleric. The cleric, yes. Yes, I am the cleric. That's me. He nods, looking tired and annoyed. There's no denying it now. You are a cleric. I'm Snell, runner and handler of the HWBT. Old lady's been waiting for you. This old lady must be his chieftain, the matriarch of his tribe. Greet the goblin kindly. This is the beginning of a great cultural cooperation and exchange. Squat down. I'm gonna be a little insensitive. Hello, goblin. Nope. Nope. Snell gestures for you to get up. Stop. No squatting. That's not how you do it. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It doesn't matter. Just don't. Okay. So I just what? Look down on you? Yes, cleric. You look down on me. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Snell. You raise your arms up into the air as one should when greeting an uncivilized tribal goblin. What the fuck are you doing? Cleric, what are you doing? Lower your hands. Sorry. The goblin clears his throat. Goblin looks around, clearly struggling to find the right words. Sleep deprived? Okay, right. Head down to the garden throne, but, he waves his claw towards you. What's all this? You look like a human shit. You've been floating around in the banks of the river. Your uniform shows it. He's making a playful jab. Don't worry about it. The goal! You should teach him a lesson. I fell into the river. He gives a shocked laugh. Wait, really? It's fine. Somebody fished me up. Huh? Lucky you, I suppose. Just dust yourself off. The dragon's waiting, and trust me, you don't want to disappoint her. Even further. Is she spooky? I'm doing a voice again. Is she spooky? Yeah, real scary. Insult her and she'll bite your head off. Then she'll scorch your corpse to dust. He laughs and crosses his arms. Ah, but seriously, she will fuck you up if you annoy her. Not a jest. Tell me more about this lady. Sure, for starters, she's the most powerful woman in Norvik. And considering there was an explosion yesterday, right in the middle of her territory, I think it's about time you do your damn job, cleric. Rude. You are on a holy mission. You cannot rush such things. Okay, lead me to her. Good. Just to make it perfectly clear, some ground rules. Don't say anything stupid. Don't climb the trees. Stay away from the edges. And, Grin's showing off his polished fangs. Enjoy the garden, cleric. Goblin scurries down the stairs. He seems to be in a hurry. He is nervous. That makes you nervous. Your body trembles. You look out over the river. The cold Ascani wind seeps through the cracks of your helmet. Earth be blessed. He is always with you. You know, I'm going. Dwarf stuff. These railings follow the Safety Council standards of 22. Waist high. Okay. We got some lights moving about. Mushroom lady. Oh man, could be a man. Neswikala, Nesson of the Green. Let me see. Yeah, give me that shit. Big. A Pimian elf. Level 6 druid. Unbothered, moisturized, happy, in her lane. She is focused on her work, but she does not seek strife. She will help you if you do not pose a threat. Her knowledge goes deep, far below the city. Learn from her and her loneliness. This elf is seeking an escape. Why else be here of all places? Her matriarch. Yes, this woman is in trouble, just like you. She's kind of dumb. Kind of dumb. Very wise, kind of dumb. At the top of the garden lookout, you see a strange creature hunched over. Underneath a large red hat, her drooping gaze slowly glides towards you. Not a hat. She's got an actual mushroom growing out of her skull. The elf drops a final piece of mushroom into the bowl on the table and gives you a creepy grin. Lean in and stare. Nice corner you got here. Slowly, and in an appropriately dramatic fashion, she widens her eyes to reveal piercing red pupils. And her grin widens even more, somehow. Her expression leaves your legs weak, and not in a good way. Ears, white hair, ashen hue, and those eyes. An elf. Aren't they rare? In your days, you've only seen a handful of those gangly freaks. Elves don't hang around in Norvik a lot. They usually stay away from lesser folk. But look at her. This is no elf of Ilum. This is one of those dark elves. Hello, elf. You hear a guttural chuckle leave her lips. A man delves into the garden, his sights set on the mysterious below. Are you that man? Am I that man? More or less. Creepy. Is she trying to intimidate you? I'm a man. Oh, a man's man. Exotic. The elf stammers? The elf stammers? Or is that an idiolect? The elf does not as much stamina as she tastes some words more than others. Tastes? You want to be a mushroom? Fair enough. She turns around, her red eyes glimmering beyond a mist of spores. Neswikala of the Green. Call me Nessun. I am underling to Hierophant Opidana. Of course, a druid. Primal spellcaster, often balance keeping actors across and below the coast, known to commune with flora and fauna. If you look into her eyes, you can feel it. She communes with nature itself on the regular. You're a spellcaster? She just gives you a goofy smile and a nod. I've spent my days handling primal forces, that which grows and decays. Do you know much of it? Yeah, they went over the basics at the towers. The towers? Ah, your wizard school. I'm not a wizard. But you train in a wizard's tower. Okay, you got me there. She lowers her gaze for what you realize is the first time since she's raised it. I would like to hear your tale, human. There is much to be learned from your folk and your settlement in this band. Settlement? It's a great city-state, not some lone village. How sustainable is your lifestyle? Sustainable? How do you replenish the resources you consume? And if you do not, how many years until depletion? I'm supposed to know that? I do not mean an exact number of hours or even years until you run out of natural resources. Just an approximation. And perhaps a toll of the impact on others in your vicinity. Do you mean me in particular or my people? Both, or either. She presses down a mushroom in her bowl, sending a puff of spores into the air. You want an answer now? If you have it. But there is no stress. The elf speaks of the realm. How long until your way of life collapses? To keep one balanced with the primal forces of the land is the only just way to live. I personally could live on an apple a day. That's pretty sustainable. Oh, that's not good at all, human. Your kind requires much more sustenance. A true statement. Please consume food. I'll make up for it later. She shows you a worried expression. Careful for yourself. Do not let the idealization of a goal hinder a healthy lifestyle. She gives you some of the mushrooms from her bowl. She gave me swamp extract. Please, eat. It is as the hedonists say. Listen to your empty stomach. Please consume. She places a palm against the rough floor. Alpidana has helped keep the undersea from being overtaken by unbalancing powers. Demigods, fiends, celestials, your human arcanists. Each create a power that not only overtakes the primal, they do so with ease. That great war your kind waged upon one another delayed it, but I do certainly believe it is inevitable. She speaks of the unsustainable nature of magic. Humans barely exist anymore. We're almost extinct. Fair. Your kind might be an offshoot of a much more dominant force. But you still hold great power in this band. Do not forget that. Never will. She takes a deep and deliberate breath. Now, enough of complicated topics. Tell me, human, do you have a mate? Hey, yo? The elf speaks of nature as a close ally. You should... Wait, what did she just ask? Well? Your cheeks clench. No, not good. Am I in a fight? Calm down, this is not a hostile situation. Elaborate? Of course, I apologize if I was vague, human. I only mean most humans in this settlement group comes in pairs. I wondered if those of your kind do the same, form such long-term committed partnerships. She did not have ill intent in her original inquiry. I'm the cleric. I go solo. She lowers her mushroom cap and sighs. I see. It is the same here, then. The path of an esoteric guardian is to be alone. You're never alone, even when it feels like you are. The elf starts adding some kind of oily liquid to her mushroom bowl. Primal kin. If this old elf can guide you in any way, make it so. If not, I will return to my toil. What do you know about the tea shop? Only what the roots whisper to me. The elf leans closer, twisting her head to the side. You must delve deep, human. Something rotten happened that day. The green quakes. They fear what's to come. They whisper. Oh. Do they whisper anything useful? She leans back and lets out a resigned sigh. You do not speak with trees often, do you? You should stop and listen more often. So you were here when it exploded? No, I was much further below. What do the goblins whisper about? That the city is at fault. That Lady Sageleaf should take over. The usual. Such speech is highly illegal. Strength, calm down, buddy. You don't need to... We live in a democracy now. What do you think happened? I will not deliberate on things I have no knowledge about. Refreshing sentiment. Thanks. What are you voting for in the election? I'm not a citizen of Norvik. Okay, cool. Cool. You don't look like an elf. What do elves look like? I suppose there are many kinds of elves. She nods. We do not call ourselves that. But your people, yes, I am an elf. Pimeya. She closes her eyes. Pimeya yo oli teana tatia. We are the elves of stars. Pimeya is our name for their people, but it is not correct. Remember that. Hmm? Any questions? You speak Elvish. Impressive. She looks to the side, then back to you. Your grasp on the human tongue is remarkable as well. She's too kind. Do your people have a great civilization below? No. I believe your people would call us nomads. So you're from the undercoast. How do I get there? Holes and tunnels. There are more than enough, even within viewing distance. Though I'd recommend gaining Lady Sageleaf's approval first. I'm not going to say I don't like elves. I'm not that racist. Let me show you my primal attunement. God damn it. How could you do such a thing? To prove attunement requires years of training. You've perhaps done a few exercises in your spare time, and you've read about druidic magic. But perhaps you can try anyway. Let's just not. Yeah, let's not do that. Please consume. Right, I need to let me consume. Can I consume you? Well, I haven't taken any damage, so I don't really need to consume right now. Stomach twists. Beware her illusion. You approach him below a sprawling tree. The well-dressed goblin stands proud beside his master. Go ahead, cleric. With a proud smirk, he motions towards the wooden throne. Much of his personhood hinges upon that throne and its owner. Such a little weasel. You should stand before the throne. Address her court. Lady Sageleaf. God damn. Oh, Forest Goblin. Something is very wrong. That's scary. You approach the throne. The sprites flutter, their glow illuminating the trunk of the great tree, its roots reaching far above, its branches holding up the dirt ceiling above. Oh, its roots reaching far below, sorry. On the throne sits a tiny goblin. Her smirk as bright as it is threatening. Her eyes follow you with an intensity, reminds you of a certain pale man. So this is the dragon. Yes, I can see it. Her glare is magnificent. Cleric of Norvik, of earth and river. Her shrill voice echoes out through the chamber. She's talking to you. You're the cleric. I was assured by your masters. The top brass of the palace itself. Her words are tainted in disdain. Her voice causes you to shiver. They told me a cleric of the highest standing would arrive within the hour. So tell me, human. You should run. No, wait, you can't. But you should. Why am I sitting here, waiting? An immense presence. You have no power here. Every word you say here could have a profound impact on the rest of this quest of yours. I had an accident. No, you know what? My apologies. My apologies, lady. Her frown turns into a weary expression. Whatever. She does not feel like mauling you now. You're dancing on a fine line. Hers is a frightful presence. You need to stand. Do not let her impact your stature. Do not become frightened. Yes! I'm brave. You brace your entire being as you meet her glare. With trembling innards you resist. She lifts her chin. You stand. Good. She's not impressed. Just happy you did not completely lose your mind. The dragon leans on her armchair, letting out an exhausted groan. It is vexing to watch my streets descend so far. Are you even aware, cleric? A local business caught up in an inferno in the middle of the day, right on Pillar Road. My road. She roars and you stand your ground. And yet Magistrate Darrow, she spits out the name like it's a curse word, he alone believes the Halfway Bridge tribe does not have jurisdiction over this particular location. She appears to have been stewing over this annoyance for some time. Her anger is pure and intense. She's trying to reel it in. Why does Darrow say that? Because he is a fool born out of nepotism and alcohol. Horrific slander! Where is your usual jurisdiction? She leans back and picks something from between her fangs. I have an official recognition of law on Lower Tolstad. And where exactly is the tea shop located? She glares at you. It is, or was, rented out of the corner on the central fort, just above the holes next to the pillar. She snaps her fingers towards the goblin to her right. That means it's part of the core foundation of this island fortress. Therefore, that property is legally an underground rental unit, he says, bowing his head. Lady. My people have been handling that damn crow's contract for years. But no, suddenly, when the entire unit goes up in flames, that's when my people have no longer the right to enter the premises. To deal with it. To clean up, even. No, suddenly it is the city's business, and we should keep our noses out of it. Corruption, plain and simple. It's one hell of an accusation. Sharp glare stabs you. Oh, you haven't heard the half of it. And don't get me started on the actual effect this has on my people. Snell, she says, and beckons towards the comely goblin. He approaches the roots and takes a bow. Lady Sageleaf. Then he turns to you. The magistrate says it was an accident, involving a fireplace failure. They've yet to send anyone in to actually investigate the scene. How can you know that? What? Shit. Something broke. How can know that? You talk if he does, so what? Say fast. What? Embarrassing. Screwing up. Sorry, I misspoke. I meant to say, how can you know that? He glances towards his lady. We've kept an eye on it. How can know that? God. The explosion occurred on the 21st of March, just past noon. 3 minor injuries were reported in the area. Luckily, foot traffic was low at the time of the incident, so that despite the massive kaboom, no dead folks. Oh, thank the gods. The gods? I wonder. Who were the injured? We only have managed to get one name in the chaos. A certain Frank, son of Frank, was said to have walked away with lesser burns. That's the sort of prefix used by Earth folk. A human, most likely. It is honorable to name a son after the father. Huh, that ain't a real name. He was apparently dressed in a fancy yellow outfit, whatever that means. Beyond that, we have some conflicting accounts. One person said, quote, "He looked like one of them dungeoneers, you hear? A real adventuring man," end quote. Another said he was looking to get out of trouble, heading right down the stairs to Water Lane. Dungeon or Water Lane? Both sound like trouble. Frank, son of Frank? Yeah. Really? Yeah. A dungeoneer? If you believe it. That comment was from one of the militia members. Could be smart to check the city below, just in case, despite the dangers. Down to Water Lane? Yeah, seems like he was heading in that direction, though down could mean a number of things, Water Lane included. I take a sippy. Fancy yellow outfit? I'm assuming some type of region fashion. Was he inside at the time? I doubt it, considering the state of the building. Why was he there? We don't know. He's annoyed to have to answer that question. Where is he now? We don't know. It sounds like you were handed a tough hand. Yeah. Although one of the militia members mentioned him just calmly walking away down the stairs. Maybe down to the crossing or somewhere else. We don't know. Anything else you do know? Snell gives a nervous look to his master before answering. We have theories, but we need proof. The lady cleric raises her claw. The lady raises her claw. The unveiling has begun, cleric. Secrets in the ashes. Corruption, madness. She claws at her wooden throne. Politics. Bureaucracy wears her down. This is clearly the work of the rogue spellcaster, someone who cannot go unpunished. Justice, yes. I will bring justice to Norvik. I certainly hope so. The lady clears her throat, loudly. She demands respect. She gets it. I formally declare a joint venture. The Halfway Bridge tribe and the Earthguard city clerics shall investigate the tea shop on Pillar Road and bring justice to those who seek to harm the peace. No creature foul or fair shall escape my rage. The words seep from her maw, burning the air. Every goblin in the chamber looks upon her in awe. She is theirs to serve. The dragon has spoken. I'll nod. She looks upon you with a grim expression. The goblin is worried. Her hope is that you step it up and take on this investigation properly. Her fear is that you will screw it up legendarily. Snell, she says, waving towards him. Yes, Lady Sageleaf, he says, bowing his head. You're the handler of this case. You've worked on it since the explosion. You know more than anyone. Ooh la la, complimented by his queen. I want you to represent the tribe in this venture. His face lights up. A goblin and a cleric. Together you will have access to both Upper and Lower Tolstad. You're going to have the pretty boy around? Damn. I thought this was going to be fun. His expression is that of shock. He did not expect this. Do not disappoint me, Snell. It appears you received a party member on your divine mission. Sad it had to be a damn goblin. A new member to the party. He ignores you. The goblin takes a deep bow. Yes, Lady Sageleaf, your will be done. The evil forces at work will be vanquished. Huzzah! Miska Sageleaf looks at you the way one observes kitchen mold. This guy? He's the one? Just keep him in line. First priority is the tea shop. We need to gain access. Your new goblin companion gives you a quick wave. Let's go, cleric. Wow, I got a companion. The lady is keeping information from you. You should investigate the tea shop thoroughly. We should also look for that witness. Yeah, Frank, dressed in yellow. He winces. Either over in Water Lane, or down in the city below. Yeah, the port or the dungeon. I'd suggest the port, since it's slightly less life-threatening, generally speaking. How do I gain access to the tea shop? Talk to your boss, Starrow. Or, I guess he's not your direct boss or whatever, but you'll need to get an audience with him if you want to get inside the tea shop. Right, and where's this tea shop again? The goblin sighs. You know the massive pillar reaching endlessly up into the sky? Yeah, just west of that. The pillar is the centerpiece of Norvik, a glorious esoteric monument, one Earth gladly kept in his new city post-reconquest. The pillar. Cool. Got it. Yeah. Let's go. Neat. I'm getting very tired. I think I might have to wrap up soon. Didn't get much sleep last night. But I might stream again tomorrow. Who knows? Okay, these fucking gnomes, man. Look at that. Look at that fucking gnome. They're watching me. Tunnel to the river. Those before left many holes in the Berg Grund. Tunnel to the central Stolstad. Something foul is fermenting here. Alright. I know it was only a short stream, but I'm very tired. Very tired, and I need eeps. Or at least to wake myself up somehow. So, I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. I think I'll do a little stream tomorrow as well. Just more of this. Because I did enjoy this, but I'm wearing myself out. It's a lot of reading I have to do, a lot of talking. So, you know. But thanks for coming and hanging out. I do appreciate it anyway. It's nice to have like a little bit of company.